And the people united will never be defeated. Never. Stop the procrastination, Harper. Go hang in a hammock if you want to procrastinate. We don't call it proroguing in my country. We call it singing Guantanamera in a hammock. Anyway, you know, like avoiding the issues. I'm going to introduce your first speaker. Her name is Mary Kelly. She is the Secretary-Treasurer of the Ontario Federation of Labour. And she's here to talk to you about all this. Give it up for Mary Kelly.
Good afternoon. Let me start by saying how very proud I am that this event today was put together by young men and women in our country. It's an indication that the youth of our country is going to fight back against this tyranny, and I'm so proud to stand on the stage with them. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for coming here today and for standing up for our democracy. It's so important that we hold our government accountable. Today, think of this, that while our legislature in Ottawa is deathly silent today, in city across our great country, there is a voice that is so loud it's deafening, and we're telling our government it's time to stand up for Canadians and to get back to work. I'm very proud to speak on behalf of 1 million workers in our province. Workers who are adding their voice to the millions of Canadians who've come together to say, we want a government that works for us, and that means we need to have a government that's working. It's absolute arrogance for Harper to think that our democracy is like a tap that you can turn on and turn off at your own will. Our democracy is not a tap. It's something that runs day in and day out as a vein through our blood. It is outrageous. It is outrageous that in the worst economic crisis we've ever experienced, when children are hungry, when communities have been devastated and wiped out in some parts of the north, when workers have been thrown out of work with no jobs to be had, when our public services are being taken apart piece by piece, our government has decided today is the day to take a vacation and not to deal with the economic crisis we're all suffering through. As a worker in this province, as a voice for working people, I tell you, when times are tough at our workplaces, we're not allowed to take a vacation. We're told, we want you to work harder. We want you to work longer. We want you to find a solution to the problems. And if you don't do that, you get a pink slip and you get walked out of your workplace. Today I say this to Harper. We are your employer. The citizens of this country are handing you your pink slip. If you're not going to do the job, then get out of the seat and let someone who's going to get in there and do it. Danny Williams said it. He said it in the last election. I'm going for an ABC government. Anyone but conservatives. Sisters and brothers, my ABC government needs to come, and it needs to come quickly, and that ABC government for me is NDP. Sisters and brothers, other people have lost their lives across this globe fighting for the democracy that you have and I have, either by birth or because you chose to immigrate here. Don't let them take away that democracy without a fight. Whose government is this? Whose government is this? Whose government is this? Stand up, sisters and brothers.
Your next speaker, he is Mikhail Saavedra. He is publisher of Alternavox magazine. He has lived here in Canada in part of his life, but he also lived under the tyranny of Pinochet, so he knows how a dictatorship begins, and he will tell you about it. Give it up for Michael Saavedra.
Hi everyone! Apparently they told me to speak directly into the microphone. I hope everyone can hear me. I am freezing cold. I was supposed to be in Cuba filming a documentary, but the reason I'm here, it's arrogance. Not my arrogance, but the arrogance of the Prime Minister, who thinks he can play us all for children. The reason I'm out here is because I know what it's like not to live in a democracy. I understand what it's like to be talked to like a child. I am out here because I'm outraged at seeing someone that looks at us and looks at us as just numbers that he can play at any time he wants. I am happy to see so many people out in the cold just like me saying to the Prime Minister, no, Mr. Harper, you work for us. You work for us. You're not out there to play your little game with your friends. You're out there to make this country work. If you don't do that, just like anyone else out here, you don't work, you don't get paid. You know, I think Mr. Harper should be joining the lines of the unemployed at this point. I don't know what you guys think. But ultimately, I think what I'm seeing out here is Canadians saying to the rest of the world that we care about democracy, that we care about what happens to our country, and that we're not going to take the arrogance of the Prime Minister anymore. I think back to the days when we used to organize in Chile against the dictatorship of Pinochet, and I'm not saying that this is the same case here, but they used the same tactics. They used the arrogance. They used to think that they could speak for us. You see, that is the same thing, and I will never stand for that. I'd much rather be at home having a coffee, writing, but I'm happy to be out here with all of you because we know what matters, we know what counts. And I think if you look back, if you could see what I can see what's beautiful about this country. I can see what makes me proud to be Canadian today. I can see democracy in action. I can see those signs going up. I want them to go up. Put them up. That's right. Put them up. That's what you should do. All the time. Don't let them ever take you for granted. You count. All of us count. Remember, Mr. Harper, you are on our payroll. You work for us. And if you don't want to work for us, take a vacation to Cuba. They asked me to finish with a chant, and apparently somebody else did it, but yeah, we should do it. What happened is, the people united will never be defeated actually started on the streets of Santiago during the dictatorship of Pinochet, and it became something international. So it was...
El pueblo.
I'm going to say it in Spanish, and I'm going to switch. I'm going to do the bilingual thing.
You try in Spanish.
Yeah, it's el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. So I'm going to say it one. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Placards. Do you like the placards? Do you like the banners? Well, Canadians Against Proroguing Parliament, as I said, we don't have corporate funding. We don't have access to the mass media. We had to come together and fund this ourselves. So we're going to ask you, if you could, because this is just the first step. We're not going away after today, Stephen Harper. We're coming back until we win back the democracy we want in Canada. So we need you to help us.
Okay, people, you can also donate online and noprorogue.ca.